Welcome to Hatch Furlong on the southeastern outskirts of Ewell. Now owned by the National Trust, the site has been used on and off as a plant nursery for many years. But last spring, a team of archaeologists from Birkbeck College, University of London, the Surrey County Archaeological Unit, Epsom and Ewell History and Archaeology Society and the Surrey Archaeological Society came together to explore the site. Not only did this provide an opportunity for students to be trained in archaeological techniques, it also offered local people a chance to get involved too. But why Hatch Furlong? To understand this, we need to look a little more closely at the archaeology of Ewell itself. The village of Ewell occupies a natural bowl at the foot of the North Downs, 12 miles southwest of London. Springs rise from the chalk here and have attracted settlement from earliest times. Their presence probably also helps to explain why Stane Street, the main Roman road that connected London with Chichester, was driven through here in the early years following the conquest. Excavations carried out across the village have shown that a substantial settlement grew up along the road during the Roman period. But why? One suggestion, based on finds made in and close to the springs, is that the settlement developed as a Roman religious centre, possibly out of an earlier pre-Roman site. We hope that our work at Hatch Furlong might shed further light on this question. Hatch Furlong itself is a long, narrow plot of land that lies on the higher ground overlooking the village. It's now bisected by the noisy Ewell bypass and bounded to the south by the Cheam Road.
Well, here we are at Hatch Furlong, towards the end of a fairly intensive couple of weeks of excavation. The reason we were on site in the first place is really due to a whole range of finds made during some chalk quarrying that went on in the 19th century, over on the chalk behind me, near where home base now is. Excavations in the chalk quarries there between 1847 and 1860 found a whole series of Roman shafts, deep Roman shafts cut down into the chalk, varying in depth between about 12 feet and 38 feet. We know from the finds that were recovered from them that they all date to the late 1st or early 2nd centuries AD. The finds all made their way into the British Museum where they are today. Now, if we move forward quickly into the 1970s, a whole range of other finds were made on the Hatch Furlong site itself during a metal detecting survey and ground survey that some local residents carried out on their own initiative. The work they recovered, or the finds they recovered, include a whole range of rather large number of Roman coins, a lot of Roman brooches, quite a lot of pottery. But unfortunately, a lot of that material is no longer with us. It's been dispersed. So one of the main aims of the work that we've been doing on the site over the last couple of weeks is to actually put those finds into some sort of realistic archaeological context. Now, we know also that the work these chaps didn't just revolve around the recovery of finds. They excavated a number of archaeological features which they'd found during a probe survey which they did across the site. In particular, they found another one of these deep chalk cut shafts. This one around about 14 feet deep, cut vertically down into the chalk and filled with the remains of up to 16 or 17 dogs and a couple of coins, the latest of which gives us a date of 171 to 172. So we know that the shaft cannot have been dug before that coin was minted. We know it must date after the minting of that coin. So we're talking a late 2nd or early 3rd century date. In addition to the chalk cut shaft, the chaps in the 70s found what they took to be the foundations of a masonry wall. So the work that we've done has attempted to relocate the chalk cut shaft, relocate this masonry wall. And I'm happy to say that we've managed to achieve both in the 10 days, the fortnight we've been here.
Five trenches were laid out. Trenches 1 and 2 were placed at the western edge of the site to pick up the chalk cut shaft containing the dogs, and the masonry wall feature. These trenches would be worked on by the Birkbeck students under the supervision of Mick Miles and Becky Lambert. Further east, trenches 3 and 4 tackled some anomalies recorded in a 2004 geophys survey. These trenches would be worked on by local volunteers under the supervision of Alan Hall, Richard Savage and Phil Stanley of the Surrey Archaeological Society. In addition, a 5th trench was opened to the south of Trench 2 in an area thought to have been dug over in the 1970s. It helped us to establish some levels and gave us a window into the site geology. In Trench 1, Mick Miles quickly found himself with a number of features on his hands, not all of them necessarily archaeological.